Midtown Manhattan, the crowds, the chaos. It really can be a lot to take in. Let's get out of here. But how? Ah, wait. World-famous Pennsylvania Station is right here. Let's jump on a train and go as far away as possible, to the end of the line. Here at the vast Penn Station, there are 3 different railroads: Amtrak, New Jersey Transit, and the Long Island Railroad. Today, let's escape to Long Island on the LIRR. We leave Penn Station on this train. Then we switch to a new double-decker train at Babylon Station. It's a 3-hour ride, so enjoy the view. We are on the Long Island Railroad, the second oldest railroad in the United States. We are on the Montauk branch, on our way to the Montauk Lighthouse, the tip of the South Fork of Long Island. Let's go see what we can find. Montauk, the last stop on the Long Island Railroad. And if you don't believe it, just look at this. No doubt, dead end. The end of the line. Well, quite a train ride, but now we're finally here at the Montauk Lighthouse. It was commissioned by President George Washington back in the 1700s, and it was the first public works project of the brand new United States government. Pretty impressive. Let's go up and take a look. The historic lighthouse stands atop Turtle Hill, once a British stronghold during the Revolutionary War. After the Revolution, the new country was quick to realize the economic importance of safely guiding ships around Montauk Point and into New York Harbor. Walking up the 137 steps of the narrow spiral staircase is all part of the fun. Notice the practical rope railing. The original lighthouse, commissioned by President Washington, lasted until 1860, when it was renovated and made taller and brighter. From the 1790s, the lighthouse was in the care of private keepers who lived on the grounds and maintained the lighthouse year-round. It went through various improvements over the years. Just look at this massive lens. The light was illuminated with various kinds of oil, including whale oil, until 1940, when it was electrified. In 1943, the last 3 keepers retired and the U.S. Army and Coast Guard took over as part of the Eastern Coastal Defense Shield, a network of lookouts along the East Coast to secure the United States mainland from German U-boats and saboteurs. In 1987, the lighthouse became automated with a modern, super bright airport beacon. In 1996, 200 years after it was built, another president, Bill Clinton, signed a bill that transferred the lighthouse property to the Montauk Historical Society. The Historical Society to this day does a great job maintaining the grounds and serving as ambassadors to the lighthouse.
Thank you so much. You're welcome.
We are finally at the top, and just look at the view to the west. Somewhere out there is the metropolis we left behind. Just imagine when sailing ships could be seen from here. Up a few more steps, and we've reached the very top, inside the lantern room.
I beat you.
From here, we can clearly see the effects of years of coastal soil erosion. In 1796, the original engineers built the lighthouse 300 feet from the water's edge. In the years since, 200 feet of earth has washed out to sea. What was once a gentle bluff is now a sheer cliff. Georgina Reed lived nearby and suffered the effects of coastal soil erosion on her own property. She saved her home and patented a technique called reed trench terracing, which fills in the trenches that are carved by erosion with reeds and beach debris. This method was employed around Montauk Point and detailed in an article with the funny name, How to Hold Up a Bank. Though this has helped to slow down the process, erosion still threatens the lighthouse. You can't leave before visiting the well-curated museum. Many artifacts from the earlier days of the lighthouse are on display. Early Americans cherished the location. The whaling industry was of great importance in the early 1800s. Teddy Roosevelt, the Rough Riders, and 20,000 troops were quarantined here at nearby Camp Wyckoff for months following their victory in Cuba after the Spanish-American War in 1898. Soldiers returned after the war with battle wounds, yellow fever, malaria, and typhoid. Arriving on the Long Island Railroad, the same tracks we traveled to get here, President William McKinley visited the camp to boost the morale of the returning soldiers. Once the danger of spreading disease had passed, the soldiers headed home. Below the lighthouse is Malcolm Fraser's solemn bronze Lost at Sea Memorial, in honor of the merchant sailors who spent their life on the seas, never to come home. Montauk Point has been called Land's End, and you can surely understand why.
So, what did you think of that? Pretty cool, huh? All right, well, now it's time to get back on the train and head back to Manhattan, about 120 miles. Thanks again for joining me, and we'll see you next time on the Rails with E. James Smith.
Our next adventure takes us to the end of the line of another commuter railroad, Metro North. Until then, pick some tracks and stay on the rails.